Hey guys, welcome back to another Tots episode! And yeah, I'm finally doing this request Chris wanted me to make for, I don't know how long now. Over a year? Maybe less? Maybe more? I don't know. The Pokemon moves I want to be a TM. So, I was wondering the entire time making this list, how the heck should I do it? Like, do I include Pokemon moves that were once TMs but no longer TMs? Or do I include moves that are currently like move tutor moves that I would rather than being in a TM? Or should I just forget all that, just no TMs, no move tutors, none of that? But I decided for this list, let's do all of the above. Now, here's what I mean by that. The 10 moves I'm going to show here, each of them have this little, I guess, ruling that only applies to themselves. You'll know when I get to it. So, here are the Pokemon moves that should be a TM. 10 and 9 in this case are moves that they were used to be TMs, but they're now move tutors. But I wish they were move tutors, I wish they were still TMs. And number 10 are the elemental punches. Now you're wondering, well, why do you have the elemental like beams and the elemental punches? Wouldn't they be kind of redundant? And I would say, I don't know. I mean, most gens had the elemental like beams, but not the punches. But Gen 2 had the punches, but not the beams. So I don't know how well they'll work together. But the reason why I put the elemental punches is because not all Pokemon benefit from the elemental beam attacks. Like, when you have a more physical-oriented Pokemon, I kind of want them to learn, let's say, Fire Punch right off the bat. Like, or as soon as they can. So I think it will work better in-game than post-game. So, yeah, I included the elemental punches because, like, say for more physical Pokemon, they work better as a in-game thing more than a post-game thing. It's really a post-game thing just for the sake of having coverage. Not really for anything, you know, necessary. Nine is Dragon Pulse. Now, this was a TM back in Gen 4, and I'm surprised. I actually didn't realize that it stopped being TM in Gen 5, and that, you know, when I was looking at this list, I was like, oh right, it wasn't a TM in Gen 5. So, Dragon Pulse is, again, a pretty powerful Dragon-type special attack that, again, even though, yeah, having Dragon Pulse as a TM back would probably clash with something like, I don't know, Dragon Claw or something else. But I guess I would probably, I don't remember if Dragon Pulse was a post-game move for Gen 4. But if I were to put it back as a TM, I probably would put it post-game as well. So I'll probably put it post-game. Like, yeah, Dragon Pulse, it's a very nice thing for Dragon types. But the thing is, like, Dragon types either already have something like Dragon Pulse, like, in their base moveset, or don't really need it in the long run. So I think I might say, okay, let's put that as a TM move. TM move like post-game, rather than sticking it to be a tutor move. To be honest, like, I kind of would rather it be a TM than a tutor move. Maybe just like me talking. Number 8 is kind of a special tier on its own. And by that I mean, this move is Rock Climb. And what it classified it is, it's an XHM, but never been a tutor move or been a previous TM, because you know how HMs currently are gone and are replaced either by TMs themselves, like Surf and Fly. They're both regular TMs, and like the outside effect of it is replaced by the Poké Ride. But for Rock Climb, it's been a HM in Gen 4, but never even been mentioned post Gen 4, kind of like Dragon Pulse in this case. But and now we're wondering why isn't it a TM or even a tutor move? So I was kind of wondering why that's the case, because it's a 90 base power move. I mean, granted, it's not that accurate, and however, it does the whole confusion thing. So I'd imagine some Pokemon would benefit from Rock Climb, like post Gen 4. So I'd imagine that Rock Climb probably be a tutor move rather than a TM, but I feel for me, I'll probably put it a TM, just for the sake of other HMs being a TM now, so. 6 and 7 are moves that are currently tutor moves, but have never been TMs before. Now, and 6 itself is going to be kind of a special case, but for the 7th slot in this list, it's Earth Power. Now, look at a similar thing to Dragon Pulse, in that, yeah, we have a physical variant of that in the form of Earthquake. However, Earthquake tends to be either super late game or post game. And Earth Power being, what was it, 90 or 80 base power move? Somewhere around that range. But I imagine probably more of mid to late game than to an Earthquake than putting it late game. Because yes, there are still some mons who probably benefit more from Earth Power. Even pulling an aren't Rock type or Earth Ground type. Earth type? Earth-ish types, there you go. The Earth-ish types, the rocks, the steels, and the grounds that would benefit from Earth Power as a TM more than a tutor move. Just saying. Now, 6, while I do classify it in the form of it's a tutor move than never been a TM, but this is a special case. This move is Fake Out. Now, when you're wondering, wait a minute, Fake Out isn't a tutor move. What are you talking about? And yes, if you look through the Auras, or I don't know, Ultrasonic move has move tutors, I assume they do, considering. Fake Out is not a tutor move. Now, why do I include it with the tutor moves? Because it's a tutor move for Pokemon XD that can only be taught to Mew. So, I wondered, yes, this does count as a tutor move because you do have to go to someone, you have to take a Mew to it, and let it learn one of several moves. But the move in question here is Fake Out, because I'd imagine a lot more Pokemon than the quite a lot that already learns it would probably benefit from it. Because if you think about it, Fake Out is kind of a surprise first attack kind of attack. And I imagine a lot of Pokemon would probably benefit from using it, not just the ones that already do learn it. So, and plus, as like just thinking in terms of how it works in game, I think it would benefit from being early or even like early to mid game. So I imagine that it would be benefit for people who like kind of need a Pokemon to just do a thing like real quickly first turn, and I don't know, profit. But I'd imagine it would probably work really good as a TM move. Now number 5 is also kind of a special case. But this was more of a special case than the one number 6, where instead of it being a tutor move, it is technically learned. However, the way it's learned is kind of different. This is Refresh. Now, the reason why I consider it kind of weird tier of its own is that the way for a Pokemon to learn it is that you have to play Pokemon Coliseum or XD and have the Pokemon purified. And turns out a lot of Pokemon, when they're purified, learn a unique move, and this unique move, in this case, Refresh. Now, the reason why I put Refresh here as a TM, because I think it would benefit a lot early game. Especially like early game. Even though people will probably use TMs to only teach like other attacks, or even like coverage moves and sort of thing. I'd imagine this is a really good early game, so that just to have like an easy full heal. Well, not full heal, but you know what I mean. Close enough to full heal, without having to have a full heal item. So like, oh, if your Pokemon is paralyzed this turn, have Refresh, have Refresh handy, even though you're probably not going to use it anytime else. Hey, got a little thing to use without having to waste like a full heal. Now, if you're wondering like, what kind of Pokemon learn Refresh? But the thing is, if you do look at the Pokemon, the move list for Pokemon that do learn it, you'll see a lot of random Pokemon learn it by purification. I think even Electrode does, and it's just kind of weird. But I think I imagine it would be more of a universal TM or a almost universal TM. So it's more like a move to replace like a full heal. Now for 4 and 3, those are XTMs, but have never been used ever again for any other reason. So they have never been tutor moves, they have never been shown to be learned to other Pokemon by other means. So those are some of my favorite, to be honest, Generation 1 TMs. This is what these really are. Now number 4 is Tri-Attack. Because I figured Tri-Attack would be pretty helpful like early to mid-game. Because it's kind of a weird attack. Yeah, it's a normal type move, but you get to also some effects. But kind of one of the main reasons for it, because there aren't a lot of normal type special attacks. And Tri-Attack would fill in that void, at least, for Pokemon that are really good at special attacks, but are still kind of early to mid-game, but also would probably benefit from it even like post-game, even like when trying to do it competitively. Yeah, Tri Attack's not good. Not the most perfect move. You probably have like some other move to replace it, but I still find it a really good move to have, and it being locked to Gen 1 TMs, it's just like a waste. I mean, yeah, like the Pokemon that learn naturally either have like a tech feel to it or like a triad feel to it. Like Dugtrio can learn it, because it's like 3 heads, like Porygon can learn it because it's more like a tech-based Pokemon. But if you see the move list for Pokemon that can learn it by TM Gen 1, quite a bit of Pokemon that have nothing to do with what I just said can learn it. So I'd imagine here that it would be not a universal TM, but a TM that would heavily benefit early game special attackers. Not all, maybe, but I'd imagine it'd be really helpful for those Pokemon that are really good at special attacks, but just can't learn the move necessary for, you know, the moveset to work early game. Now, number 3. Now, if it were for me, I probably wouldn't put this one on the list. However, I put this one on the list mostly for its novelty. And number 3 on this list is Metronome. And the entire reason why I put Metronome on this list, Metronome Wars. Dude, like, sometimes I do see, like, random Metronome War battles online. And it's just kind of fun to see what comes next. So I think I imagine, like, for those are doing, like, how do I say this? Casually competitive, I guess? For, like, just having fun. So having, say, like, 4 people in a multi-battle, just spamming Metronome on whatever. And just see what happens next. Heck, you probably have, like, a Metronome tier list or something. Like, Pokemon that work best just by using Metronome. That would be hilarious. So, I guess for the novelty and for the hilarity that will ensue when having Metronomes in Universal TM, I think that we're going to see some hilarious and awesome videos stemming just from having Metronome to TM. So, bring back Metronome to TM, please. Or even the tutor move, I don't care. Just, like, have Metronome back. Because, I don't know if you noticed this, but Metronome isn't being used a lot at all. Like, even when you go look at Pokemon to learn Metronome, it isn't a lot. And the Pokemon that can learn it in even Gen 1, not that much. So, I'd imagine, yeah, just bring Metronome back. I want to see some more Metronome. Come on. Come on, waggling the fingers. Stuff explodes. Come on. And now finally, the top 2 slots are moves that do qualify as never been a TM before, never been a tutor before. So, if I were to put brand new moves that have never been taught to anything as TMs, just those 2. Now, if you're wondering why don't I put the entire list that, is because the entire list was like 5 moves. And to be honest, like, a lot of the moves that have been TMs, they're fine as TMs, and I don't really particularly care about most of the other moves. Like, a lot of my favorite moves are TM moves. Like, Ice Beam, my favorite move ever, is a TM. And, like, Psychic's one of my other favorite moves, and it's a TM. So, and Ice Punch was a TM, but it's now a move tutor move. So, a lot of my favorite moves are already teachable. But for the top 2, never been done before. And the first one of which, number 2, is Play Rough. Because it's the only physical fairy type move, and a ton of Pokemon need it. Like, a ton of Pokemon need a physical fairy move. But no, not even Gen 7, there are no new physical fairy moves. And even if there were, they'll probably be weaker than Play Rough, I assume. Like, I'm gonna do a little call it here. If you're Gen 8 or even Gen 7, if they somehow introduce new moves to it, if the next fairy type physical attack is less power than Play Rough, I'm gonna put a call it. So, I'm probably not gonna remember this video though, but whatever. But yeah, Play Rough is absolutely freaking necessary. I don't care if it's like a tutor move or a TM, that thing needs to be teachable. And of course, it'll probably be teachable to a lot of like fairy Pokemon that more physical than special based. Because if you got like learn a ton of special fairy type moves, but only one physical, that's kind of not cool. Especially if that one thing are learned by very few Pokemon. Even Pokemon that aren't fairy type that can learn it. So yeah, if non-fairy Pokemon can learn it, and fairy Pokemon that need it can't learn it, then something is wrong with the structuring of the type. So yeah, fairy needs some more physical buffs. At number 1, basically one of my favorite moves ever. Like the Instant Ice Beam, Ice Punch. You know me, as like, even though my favorite type is Psychic, like I do like my ice types. And again, there are some Pokemon that need this move, but don't learn it because, I don't know. Icicle Crash. Like, the first Pokemon I could think of immediately when thinking of this Pokemon, this move needs to be taught to is Kyurem. Just so Kyurem Black, just so it can do something. Like, you know, Kyurem Black is like not very powerful, despite, you know, it being like a monster, like a monster's abomination of who knows where. But it needs a physical ice move, but Ice Punch isn't going to be helpful, and its main ice move isn't that good. So, having the next best thing, Icicle Crash, it solves a lot of those problems. And that being said, like another main reason why I want it as a TM, I think it's probably best as a tutor move than a TM, but the reason why I want it as a tutor move, or even it's like somewhat teachable, is because there are a lot of Pokemon, especially ice types, even non-ice types. I think probably ice type only move, who knows, or even like ice water. But there are a lot of Pokemon that need it, that can't learn it, but also cannot learn Ice Punch. So, because like they don't have the necessary fists or limbs to learn it, but Icicle Crash, I would assume that it doesn't take much to learn it. I mean, because like if Cloyster can learn it and it doesn't even have arms, I'd imagine like a lot of other ice types that need it, like Glalie, maybe not Glalie, but Glalie has a pretty decent physical move pool. So let's say Glalie. So let's say, I don't know if Glalie can learn though. Let's say Glalie, probably Icicle Crash, so like, wants to go physical but can't learn Ice Punch because, you know, lack of limbs, but it'll probably benefit more from Icicle Crash. I can't think of another Pokemon route that probably benefit from Icicle Crash, but it's a really powerful move. Well, not that powerful, but more of an Ice Punch. So, but yeah, I'm still ticked that Icicle Crash is not a tutor move, even less so a TM. So anyway, that's it for this little list. I'm surprised I managed to make it over 17 minutes. Anyway, weird. But anyway, that is all. See you guys next time for Top 127. I'm probably gonna make it my favorite Fire and Blazing Blade characters. Otherwise, I'll probably put it like something else. See you guys later.